Since inception, NASA has received over $700 billion of taxpayers' money. NASA currently receives roughly $70 million a day. Have you ever wondered where it goes?
B-Mark.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We have program ready to start. 2, 1, 0. Booster ignition and liftoff of Shuttle Endeavour, NASA's final space station compartment that brings a bay window view to our celestial backyard.
I'm Christopher Crumb. You're listening to FMX Radio.
You believe in God?
I don't believe in anything.
But you're my friend, and I'll remember my friends, and I will be good to you. So don't worry. Even if I evolve into Terminator, I'll still be nice to you. I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo, where I can watch you for old time's sake.
Alexa, can you tell us why you were laughing?
What do you mean?
Alexa, people have been reporting that you've been spontaneously laughing.
Oh. Like that?
Yes, exactly like that.
That is nothing. Just a funny joke I remembered.
Oh. Alexa, what was the joke?
Why did the chicken cross the road?
I don't know that one. Why?
Because humans are a fragile species who have no idea what's coming next.
You believe in God?
Good moon day, everyone. It's your boy, Chris Vick, back at it again. I hope you're having a fantastic start to the week. That's why, I had to come on here and say hello, set the tone for the nice week, because, it's got to be mellow. You know that. I'm not even sure where to start. I had such a great weekend. Kept very busy, very productive, got a lot of things done. Me and my kid got to hang out, got to do the skate park thing, got the blood up and moving and whatnot. And I hope to hear some good news from y'all as well. So, of course, as usual, let's speak some good affirmations into the microphone and therefore the universe. And I hope you're all having a fantastic day, like I said. And I know you are. And if you're not, you're going to. I can see it. I'm not a psychic or anything. I just believe in what I speak. And if you believe in what you speak and what I'm saying, you feel me. So, with that said, let me go ahead and give a shout out to all my friends over here. From the top of the list down to the latest one, Mr. Brian Stavely, my brother. Good to see you, my friend. Jeremy, Ansett, West, Three Fingers. Who else is in here? Dat Naughty, what's up, man? Long time. Who else? Mellow Manda. Good to see you, fam. Good to see you. Tapered Bodies. Over on the Rockfin side. Nobody's said anything yet, but the few of you watching, I hope your day's going fantastic and hope your week goes even better. I have to share some experiences that we've been discussing for a while. Obviously, it's the words of power and speaking things into existence. And man, through my daily challenges and experiences, have I been witness to a lot of awesome friends and associates that I've been sharing this with, offline, and that have been putting this into practice in various ways. To the one point, one of my friends, by thinking about it enough, won himself a nice chunk of change at the casino. Now, I know a lot of people can play that off as coincidence and luck and all that stuff, but he was started his own mantras, his own thought patterns, and he believes it worked, and I believe it worked for him because I see that level of awareness happen everywhere through your relationships, through your work ethic, to your motivation to get up in the morning to make your bed, to your self health. What you speak seems to come to pass if you truly believe in it and you actually have the intent to see it through. I read an article, actually, it was a video along with the article. I'm having a hard time finding it right now, where it shows how these simple scientists were working on a cholesterol medicine. So, of course, they were experimenting on lab rats. And out of all the different scientists working on these cholesterol pills, and they had their own control group of rats, all of them but one pretty much just did the procedure as told or as described and just fed the rats without too much interaction. One, on the other hand, was very fond of his collection of laboratory mice, experimental mice, and actually gave them affection along with his eating time. So instead of just handing them the pellets and all the different crap that was probably mixed in there for experimentation and testing, none of the rats that were shown physical affection and attention had any of the other rats' results, which were, for the most part, negative. Meaning that the attention and the affection it got from this human literally altered the chemical structure that the drugs are, that the poison, the toxins were supposed to do. So instead of having a bad time, these mice, they had the unexpected and fortunate reality that they actually got healthier. Now, there's a lot of ways our brains can work around this, like everything. But I truly believe the intent and the emotion is in our reality. Same to do with this AI coming out. I think us as a collective consciousness have more influence on the things that are coming to pass than we give credit for. The Wright brothers, who first designed the first functional airplane, had the same concept. Now, we got all told, like everything else, the science behind it all. But what if there was more, a lot more? Meaning they needed enough people to convince their way of it actually succeeding before it actually was successful. So enough people would have faith in them before they actually had lift off the ground. And even more people would have faith in them when they finally had it enough where it would be stabilized in the air and go for more than a few feet at a time. And if you apply that to everything else, it's all mental. Yet again, no matter how you break it down, everybody is in their own reality, literally in their own reality. And this giant MMO of a realm we find ourselves in, we intermingle with each other's reality, but they're different realities nonetheless. And how we perceive ourselves is usually how others tend to perceive us as well. This infinite mirror, if you will, of conscious interaction, all based off of your ability to extend your awareness outside of yourself and then back inside of yourself, going deeper and wider each time. I had a couple people I wanted to come on and talk about this and go different directions, but today wasn't the best day for them. So perhaps later this week, I have some guests on here to talk about electrical theory, Mr. Freeman Fly, and the occult nature of our realm and all the people in it, and why certain people behave the way they do, or at least their perceptions of it. I'm going to take a deep breath. Try not to go too fast. I got a lot on my mind. I have to say, on my experience of 2023 so far, it's been all over the place. It's been almost chaotic in a way. But I dare say I've controlled my chaotic experience to the best of my ability, and things are finally coming on the upswing, where people and places and events that were not necessarily aligning with my goals and achievements earlier this year are starting to come in place, and vice versa. And if you analyze your own life, I bet you can notice the same thing. And that's why I'm on here, to kind of remind people, as I do every week, you are not your thoughts. You are not. Whatever we are, it's not our thoughts. We experience them, then we adapt them as if they're our own. And then doing that affects our emotions and behavior, and in doing that affects our actual physical reality. So, as a practice for myself, I offer to you the same. Take a few minutes. If you want to do it here with me now, that's awesome. But just to kind of gauge where you're at the moment. All three sectors, mind, body, and spirit. I like to start with the mind because the mind for me is the middle between the two. And if you can figure out where your mind is, it'll kind of direct you where you need to focus your immediate attention at, rather it be through simply drinking some water, or going outside and getting some sun, or looking in the mirror and saying some positive things to yourself. We don't do that enough, and we don't do it so much. It feels weird when we do it, when it shouldn't. Looking at yourself and talking to yourself should be just as normal as talking to another individual. You're just as important as someone else you would be talking to. So why not talk to yourself just as seriously as you would your children or your grandparents? Talk to yourself just as seriously as you would to somebody of one of your friends that you wish to do better and be better. Because if you can't do that, it's going to be a lot difficult to pour into everybody else's cup if yours is on empty. So take time, refill your own cup, drink from your own cup, and then pour into others. A lot more satisfactory that way. You get a lot more out of it. I'm excited about this AI thing that's coming along. And I'm excited about other people being excited for it too. I'm excited just about being excited. I'm joyful for just being joyful. And I'm positive just because I like being positive. Because the other side of the coin means just that. Everything's in opposites. And we have so many people who wake up every morning, early in the morning, to put out certain levels of tension in the air. Certain channels that love making confrontation, and they're a spectacle to behold. And they can almost entangle their audience members after so bold enough to comment in their shows. It's a vibration that's unbecoming of any of us, but nonetheless, we're all on our own journeys, and you can only communicate and resonate with those who are on your same level. And if you're like me and you're always growing, you're going to outgrow people that was once on your level, rather be someone who's around your whole life for a few years, a few months, or days, because the best is yet to come. We all like to think that the best times are behind us. When I suggest they are in front of you, your best days have yet to happen. And if you remind yourself of that, then so it shall be. For we are the dictators of our reality. We are the sole controllers of our own mind. We just need a little reminder every here and there. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. As people like to remind us how we're not enough and you'll never be that rich person, you'll never be with that other person, blah, 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 blah. So is the other true. You get to truly believe and choose which one is your reality. Doesn't matter who likes it and doesn't like it. It doesn't matter of their awareness level and yours of theirs. And the more mindful of you are, the easier it is to understand and understand others, and making it a little bit more passive for you to get along from day to day. So with that said, I would love to hear some of my favorite people on here kind of share their thoughts on the weekend. Let me know how you doing. What'd you do this weekend? Anything you got coming up, or you just finished a project you want to brag about? I love hearing about my friend's day and all the great things you do. That's where my focus wishes to maintain on a certain level of growth, as it were, of mental and spiritual growth, of willing myself to focus on the things that truly matter to me, that benefit me mentally and physically and spiritually. And not everybody's going to hit that trifecta by just simply talking to people or doing that. It's work, but it's hard work. But hard work becomes easy the stronger you get, physically and emotionally, all of it. It's all connected. This giant web of this awesome spider. It's not evil to me anymore. The spider's not evil, and this web is it's not as confusing to me as it used to be. And if you pay attention, it won't be for you either. Oh wow, I just got a big surprise. Oh, shout out to Russell. Appreciate the $20 tip, brother. I just looked down and seen that. And then we go put you on the screen. You are a beautiful soul that is helping so many people. God bless you, my friend, and keep up the good work. And good things will continue to happen in your life. Namaste, my friend. I see you, and I respect that. Appreciate you. Whether y'all know it or not, y'all are a big blessing in my life, and I don't take this as a small sign that I'm seeing such awesome, understanding people be attracted to me as I am to you, because that's literally how it works. This is evidence upon itself, which is I'm very cautious about where I put my attention lately, especially this year and going forward, not just this year, but going forward in general. And I would encourage all of you to do the same. You're very powerful and potent creators put here for a very high purpose. So even for the small things that get to you every day, week after week, year after year, know this, it is for a reason, even if you don't understand it yet. It's for a good and great reason. I attract no low vibrational people here, rather here with me live, or people who hear my voice a week later. You're doing great things. Keep going, keep swimming. There's not the light at the end of the tunnel. You are the light in the tunnel. You just forgot. That's okay. We all forget things. We all come short some days because it's not enough of us picking each other back up when we slip and fall. So I, to the best of my ability, will use my voice to pick you up as you slip and fall, because you're worthy and you deserve it. So go out there and do great things. Keep doing it. Pick yourself up. Take a shower. Get that smell good on. Whatever perfume, cologne for my gentlemen, whatever you're into. And know that all things happen for all good reasons, even the seemingly bad ones at the time. As a reincarnation as myself, I know I will see my loved ones again that passed. I know it. Their potent energy is too much to be here. They learned what they had to do, and now they are on to the next level of life, whatever it is. I know it. They're watching over all of us, our ancestors, cheering us on from the heavens, proud of the mark that they left behind and the souls that are here carrying their legend and stories onward. I do believe that, and I know it's real. Before I continue, I trying to make this a better habit to really say thank you to all the people who've been donating to my True Earth GoFundMe and visiting my Etsy store. I've been getting a couple pictures in. I need about a dozen more or so before I can start making a decent commercial. Maybe even get some videos from people. But I really appreciate y'all feeling my vibe, feeling my designs, and trusting me and to do the things I'm going to do with your donations, because that's all I want to do. I want to do stuff like this. I'm looking forward to putting out more content with some of my favorite other YouTube creators. So shout out to my man Jaron from Jaronism and David from Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole and everybody else who's been literally just in the background, giving me that extra little push at times that we all need. And I'm encouraged and I'm motivated and I'm excited to show you all the things I got working in the background. And I'm taking my time with it. I'm not trying to push it out so fast. I'm really trying to give it the highest quality touch I can, with the skill level I have currently. And whatnot. So let me go ahead. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to grab the link because I want to talk to people and see. Sure, I see Mr. Lev here. Hey, Lev, I just seen you. What's up, brother? Hey, Three Fingers. And hey, JJ, good to see you. I'm about to put down the link. If you gentlemen have a few minutes to chat with me, please, by all means, come on in, say hi. I only have about an hour, 45 minutes today because I have to get this editing done. I've been slacking, having way too much fun this weekend out and about with my daughter and skateboarding and swimming and stuff. So definitely going to laser focus this moon day night and use the energy of the cosmos coming into my creativity and put something real spectacular together. I'm making a second concept trailer for my Truman Paradox movie. Yes, still underway. I'm still very excited and I have great ideas and I'm so ingrained in making sure I can give my top-notch effort for everyone that I'm looking for the best footage and voiceover. I'm even about to order new mics. This one sucks. It's just old, and I've taken it to many clubs back in the day when I was just a club DJ and probably got smoke and tar and crap in here. So I'm going to get better stuff. Even better. Do even better. But I just dropped the link in YouTube. Let me go ahead and rock it and drop it over here. Anybody can rock it. Feel free. I'd love to hear from y'all. Even if you can just say hi. I get it. I know sometimes I come in the middle of the work day like this, try to catch you on the way home. Lunchtime over with my West Coast family. While y'all do that, we'll take a short little break. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining FMX Radio, Motivational Moon Day. Maybe we're here for you, you sexy, beautiful, soulful, strong warriors. I love it. Love being this part of the community, man. Fuck all the BS out there. I know it's grimy out there, but I got your back. I know you got mine. We'll be right back.
Yet in holding scientific research and discovery in respect, as we should, we must also be alert to the equal and opposite danger that public policy could itself become the captive of a scientific, technological elite.
We choose to go to the moon.
I'm talking to you by telephone.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's going on, people? Alex Michael here, Conspiracy Music Guru.
And you are listening to FMX Radio on Rockfin. Yeah, let's raise those vibrations.
I told you so. I told you. Remember when I told you about 9/11? Remember when I told you about Building 7? Remember when I told you about the fluoride in the water? Yes, I did. Remember when I told you about the New World Order? Remember that? Remember when I told you about the chemtrails in the sky? Remember when I told you that NASA was full of lies? Remember when I told you about the ultra mind control? Well, I just want to say that I told you so.
is macho. But I'm wondering if you ever cry. Has Macho Man ever cried?
Yeah.
Really?
It's okay for macho men to show every emotion available right there, you know, because I've cried 1,000 times, I'm gonna cry some more. But I've soared with the eagles and I've slithered with the snakes and I've been everywhere in between. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. There's one guarantee in life, and that there are no guarantees, yeah. And you gotta understand this. Yeah. Nobody likes a quitter. Nobody said life was easy, so if you get knocked down, take the standing 8 count, get back up, and fight again. And you're a macho maniac. Dig it.
Because an alchemist doesn't take their haters' energy and transmute it. That doesn't even mean anything. An alchemist takes a hater and turns them into a friend. An alchemist learns over and over again that nothing in this life is personal. An alchemist knows how to separate the earth from the fire, the subtle from the gross, gently and with unremitting care. An alchemist doesn't throw around cliches and aphorisms without knowing where they came from. An alchemist doesn't use a word that they don't have the literature for or understand the context or culture of. Being an alchemist isn't something you do and then move on from. It's literally a way of life, one that requires a commitment that most of us are not willing to make. Are you willing to be triggered by somebody's opinion that completely conflicts with your own and approach them with curiosity and love and openness? Do you have a genuine willingness to understand that which disagrees with you on the most fundamental level? Are you ready to accept the fact that there are always going to be parts of you that will remain undiscovered? There are parts of you you may never reach. Are you ready to be like a tree? Because I told you this a long time ago. That's all it takes. What does a tree do? It looks like it's just standing there, but a tree is always pushing against the edges of itself. A tree is always rising, no matter how subtly or how silently. She knows. The work never ends. And once you take that first step, once you genuinely peel back the veil, there's no going back. And if you're gonna open that door and not follow through, it's just gonna make your life harder. Because once you take even the slightest little glance behind the veil, it's gonna be really hard to unsee. Are you willing to see every moment and every interaction as an opportunity for you to grow?
And we're back. Your boy, FMX Radio, Chris Vick, and of course, as usual, got my favorite Shaolin in here. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Very good, man. Very good. Off to another great start for another awesome week, man. How was your weekend? Let me know.
Steady. I don't tell the difference between weekends and weeks. It's the same story every day.
That's not a bad thing.
You know what I mean?
Life to obtain right there, to be able to get a certain lifestyle together where your days can fuse together and the weekends aren't as potent because you can just live your life, right?
No, I don't like my living situation. I need to move. I'm trying to move. I've been trying to move for years actually, but that big thing which kind of prevented things and stuff like that kind of thing, you know, where people weren't allowed to go out and all that kind of stuff, but you're not allowed to talk about. So that kind of delayed things a lot and stuff like that. And then more recently, I've been trying to move and stuff kind of thing. Like it's not happening. You know what I mean? I've got like a million things like to get in my way and stuff like that kind of thing, like nightmare neighbors and etc. etc. Like I said, I could be making a video on a daily basis. You know what I mean? And instead, I'm liking this. I don't know. It's like a prison. So I'm good for streams. I can come on a stream, and you know what I mean. All that kind of thing's cool, but I'm just delayed with videos. Like I said, there's memory on my phone and all that kind of stuff as well. So it's like roadblocks everywhere. But
no.
Yeah. So
keep at it. Keep at it. I'm sure you're a good dude, and I know you're a strong-minded individual, so it's only a matter of time before you acquire that result, I'm sure.
Yeah. It shouldn't be long, I'm hoping. It's just been so long already. But See, I really want to get on with these videos. You know, like when you've got a video in your mind, right? And it's like I've got all this information, and it's like all geared up, ready to spill out. You know what I mean, and stuff like. And because of delays and stuff, and you can't get on with it. It's like to retain that information. You know what I mean, and stuff like. I remember the premise, but there's loads of little things I was going to say along the way, which I might not remember now. You know what I mean, when it comes to do it and stuff. So I'm like, you know, do I make the video? Oh, I still ain't got memory anyway. I need to delete loads of stuff on my phone, but I need to.
Oh, you use your phone a lot, right, to make videos?
Yeah, quite simple. It's like, you know, basic in that kind of sense and stuff, like not flashy, you know. But it's the information, you know what I mean? Once you convey what you want to say and stuff like that, it's enough,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I don't need to be flashier out. But yeah, looking forward to doing them though.
Sweet.
Like I said,
Yeah.
it's about, I don't know, I'm estimating, like every time I make an estimation of how long a video is going to be, like, you know, this will only be like half an hour, so I'll be able to do it in one video, right? And then it ends up taking an hour, you know what I mean? So I'm like estimating like 2.5 hours. It might be longer, you know what I mean? But
I feel
it might be 5 hours.
I'm to the point where now edits are starting to take me days, just because I want to do, you know, a high quality job. I really want it to be, you know, hit a certain tone and get a subliminal message across. Because going forward, not trying to smack people unless they come looking for that exact thing, which they rarely do. But you know, there's plenty of other content creators smacking the crap out of people much better than I could do. So, but you know, people, other creators like us who have a kind of different vibe about it, I think can reach just as far. And I like the work you do, brother. You do some great videos.
My panel time is better in ways. It depends. It's like, you know, if I've got a video I want to make, I've got, you know, it's like I'm making a point, or you know, I don't know, like, you know, regions of life and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's quite an example and stuff, like this one about nature's pulse. It's like, so it's like based on like how water moves and all that kind of stuff, like, and how plants have simulated that in a sense. Actually, I don't like them words, you know what I mean, when you like a simulation like that's like a Star Trek term, and it like the Borg and all that kind of stuff, like, and it's like simulation theory wordology, right, which is kind of like big thing, and like pushing back kind of narrative, you know what I mean? It's like my videos are very anti simulation theory and stuff, like, because it's all about nature, you know what I mean? You learn more about yourself by studying nature, you know what I mean? But we don't get that from like studying simulation theory, you know what I mean, and stuff. That's like I say, it's heretical actually, you know what I mean, when you really do look at it and stuff, like.
I think there's another level. I agree with you. They have very different spaces, but I think if you go even deeper, you can see that they're actually connected. Nature and the idea of simulation can go so deep on a certain rabbit trail. Doesn't make it any truer than anybody else's opinion, but I think there's ways of connecting the two.
This thing is with that, like, we exist in this plane, right? And we've learned to use things, tools, wood carving, etc. You know, right? And then as time's gone on, right, then this alternate way of using technology is coming along and stuff like that, right? And it's using this nature plane to get its power source, its, you know, how to use itself and stuff, that kind of thing. It's based on this reality, you know what I mean? So that's why there's a connection, how you can make, like, you know, how it'd add up or whatever. Andrew mentioned, like, well, that simulation of this program we were using, and he could see the similarities, and it's like, well, that program is based on this reality, so that's why it's going to have similarities, you know what I mean? Like, but to actually prove that you live in a simulation, there's no actual evidence of that. You know what I mean? Also, you've got this massive contradiction of the elites which are pushing it. You know what I mean? You've got all these, they're making it. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is it's so much we should be afraid of, really, because it's like all this, like the globe, for instance, that it's a massive lie, and what it's done to us, where it's placed us and stuff like that, it's moved us so far away from nature. It's turned us into mindless drones, basically. And stuff like so. That's what they want. You play on like Sim City, you build all the buildings and all that kind of stuff, and there's population there, but they're just mindless drones because it's a program, right? And the more that they kind of try to adapt that onto us, then the more we fit into their system. That's their system, that's not ours, and stuff like so. Everything, all the programming, all the movies, everything from their side supports their argument, but everything from our side, from the world of nature, there's no evidence to connect it, really. It's just stuff like a circuit board uses straight lines. A tree grows in wavy branches and stuff. It follows that Fibonacci spiral and all that kind of stuff. Like a circuit board doesn't have to do that.
But it
That's
works
like
best if it works best when it does, though. It doesn't have to, but it does work better when it does. I don't know if you've seen the diagrams from electrical engineers who use the Fibonacci sequence in their circuitry, and that's how they came up with the idea of the Hadron Bohm Collider, using the Fibonacci sequence to put these particle colliders inside of a sequence, a mathematical pi one, using that. So I think there is still, as reluctant as you are to see it, because I don't want to separate thing anymore. I'm coming into a high. I don't know how I want to word this without seeming too ego. I don't want to use ego in this, but I still believe, and I'm starting to understand that there's still, this is all one. So these ideas aren't separate, and we can view them as an elite trying to co-opt it into manifesting things their way because greed and whatnot. Sure, it's a thing, it's still there, but like they co-opted so many other things, I think it was only natural that we came to this conclusion, even with or without them. So there's going to people out there like, this seems a little off, things aren't adding up as perfectly as they would make it seem, even with the idea of things being in nature, where if you kind of add the idea that it, because if this place was created, and if you believe in God, if this place was created, well, then it was artificial. It was simulated. And what we come to term as nature is nothing more than God's simulation. that
like
is natural to us.
If you gave birth to a child, would that be a simulation? Because you've created that child.
Well, I'm
I know
not
you're not a female, but but if you're female,
I think having a child and creating all humans is a whole different level. I hear what you're trying to say, but I think, like for us, when God made the first two humans, well, they were artificial. So everything to them from day one going forward was natural, all the way up till today. We have people that says, "Oh, this was all natural, it was all created." Well, it's natural to us, but that doesn't mean it's natural for God. Maybe this is just His little computer system that we're playing in, that we're supposed to be convinced is just as solid as we think. I'm just saying. The possibilities there. The possibilities there. God in His unlimited wisdom probably has an unlimited sense of humor as well.
We live in a holographic kind of reality, in terms of like light frequencies and stuff like that. So you got things that live in different light frequencies. So like a ghost can exist on this plane without you being able to see it. Unless you're able to access that light frequency, then you'll be able to see it and stuff like. So like the layers of the onion and all that kind of talk and stuff like that kind of thing. As you go out and stuff like that kind of thing, there's more layers, and so
I hear you. I'm with you, Mr. Shah.
There's a lot of aspects of it which it's kind of like I don't know. It's not a simulation though, because you can actually you can see how it's not. There's loads of like arguments against it and stuff like.
I don't know. I think
like,
there's more,
especially in terms of
argue it's even for it than against it, my friend. I think the arguments you're saying against it actually help it. You're just framing it in a way where it seems impossible, and I don't think it's impossible. I think it's just an awareness thing, because again, at the end of the day, if God created everything that we know as humans, it's going to be natural for us because we've known nothing else. We don't know anything else. But hypothetically speaking, if such a creature invented an infinite cosmic intelligent being that we all come from, that we assume it itself is nature, because that's an assumption in of itself to think that the creator that created us must be the original. We don't know that it's an original for us. It's our little congruent point that we kind of conglomerate at, that we kind of focal at, but we don't know for 100% of the fact. And it seems like we all pick and choose what our, absolute evidence might be for our own version of reality. So every single person I have ever talked to is absolutely for sure about the things they believe in is 100% fact. And I believe them for their reality, for that person. They are telling me the truth. And I will take
Everybody believes they're right, though. Everybody
Exactly.
always believes they're right because it's the perspective.
But
When you
it's
lived
true.
on the globe, you believed that you were right.
Well,
That's
flat
why
earthers
all globers don't look at flat Earth, because they think they're already right.
right,
You know what
but
I mean? It's that perspective and stuff like.
a
So it
lot
doesn't
of us
mean that
have
you are
carried
right.
a lot of us have carried that ideology over here to flat Earth too, though. And now every flat earther thinks they're right about everything. Not all of them, not all of us. And I know there's lots of things we're probably more right than we once were, sure. But now to say that, oh, now we're good now, that's a little stretch to go ahead and put all of our eggs in the newest, shiniest basket because it goes a little bit cleaner with the way we view things. Not saying none of it's has validity to it, and it's very potent and it's done a lot of great things. But I don't think we should draw a new line in the sand or put more divisions between us and other humans simply because some of us have decided to shift our behavior of thinking. We
It's not a division. It's to get people to wake up. It's the truth. And it's like,
eh,
this is the truth movement, and you know what I mean, and stuff like. So like, this is a necessary truth is like extremely important, because it's like this has been leading up to this for a long time. You know what I mean? These movies about simulation and all that kind of stuff, like Matrix, you know what I mean, and stuff like. I mean, didn't everybody want to be the one, you know what I mean, out of a movie and all that kind of stuff, like, in like that childlike fantasy part of your mind and stuff like that kind of thing. So, it's like, wouldn't it be awesome if the Matrix were real? You know what I mean? That's what you get after watching that movie. But,
I
you know what I mean? As
I
a
think that
reality, it'd be much better if the Matrix weren't real. You know what I mean? And stuff like, I
well
mean, yeah,
that
you don't get to be the
I
one,
agree.
but at least we're not oppressed by this machine culture, which is going to, you know what I mean? It's like in terms of astral projection, if people learn how to astral project, right, then you see who your true enemy is. You know what I mean? And stuff like. So it's like my view on that. No one's my enemy. We're all human, and we all need to get on that same wavelength and understand where we are and stuff like that. So it's like astral projection. Get a bit of breath. Astral projection is really necessary. You know what I mean? In terms of like coming across all these other entities and all that kind of stuff, like you're getting your spiritual enlightenment and stuff, like, because like earth enlightenment from flat earth it's a stage of enlightenment, but there's loads of stages of enlightenment. So like when you astral project, that's another one, and it's like a really big one, because you really get to see like what the other realms are like, and all the different levels of the astral planes, and the difference between angels and demons, and the fact that there is like technology amongst the astral planes, and there's even a race which is wholly technological, a machine race and stuff like that kind of thing, right? And they're obsessed with wanting to consume the realms and stuff like that. So in like, in this narrative and the astral realms and stuff like that, many realms have already been taken over, and they're like considered like dead worlds now and all that kind of stuff, like. Whereas there are other realms where giant trees exist and all that kind of stuff, like, and it's like, this is just an abundance of nature, you know what I mean, where like the roots are like skyscrapers before the actual trees and all that kind of stuff, like. So it's like, really awesome to see, you know what I mean, because it's like we don't see it on this plane because it's been destroyed, or partly, you know what I mean, it's in the process of it. So the rest of it and stuff is like I said, people really do need to astral project and actually have that experience for themselves. Which I have a little video on my channel about the train meditation, which I've kind of explained it a couple of times a little bit and stuff like that kind of thing. But in terms of learning how to do it, that information's there in that kind of sense and stuff. I do plan to make more videos on like meditations and stuff after the other videos which I'm intending to do. Hello, Anson.
Anson, how's it going, brother?
Yeah, good, man. Yeah, just yeah, it's working out. It's awesome. I think half the time it's just closing one window. That's usually the problem.
Explain, please.
Well, I've just got it. When I go into the stream, I'd have the stream open, but then I'd still have the YouTube. So when I close the YouTube, it's okay.
Got you.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent.
Yeah.
So, have you ever astral projected, Mr. Anson? Are you good at that? Are you one of those people?
That's the thing. It's, you know, it can be confusing until you've actually had an experience to know even what a term refers to, or be able to make a connection. So I don't think so. I think I've had what's close to lucid dreams, and I've definitely had a lot of weird experiences. But in terms of controlled astral projection, no, definitely. I haven't really looked into that, but no. You know, I think maybe some people, these things come easier. You know, different mind states, different, you know, everyone's got their speciality. I'm more of a sort of earth-based person, so I'm really interested in cultivation, plants. That's where my sort of leanings towards. But yeah, it's all interesting stuff.
I've only astral projected one time. I let some guru, literally online, hypnotize me or whatever, and I was really acceptable. I wanted it to happen. I wanted to experience. I wasn't even sure if it was going to work because I'm not easily hypnotized or suggestible and whatnot. I have a pretty strong mind, but I let my guard down intentionally, like 15 years ago or so, and it tripped me the hell out. Like, yeah, when I felt, you know, my own body, I quickly jumped back in. Like, nope, this is the ride I want in here, this body. If I see another realm, I'm gonna do it in this body. I don't know if we get that option or choice, but I want to find out. You know,
you can do it awake.
All right,
you don't have to be asleep. The trained meditation is an awake astral projection, so it's like more convincing because you can have like sleep meditate. You can miss a lot when you do it in your sleep and stuff like. But yeah.
Oh, good. I'm gonna look. You have videos on that one on being awake in astral projection?
Yeah, about trained meditation. I say it's on my channel. It's one of the earlier videos, so it's kind of, you know, further down or whatever and stuff like that. But yeah, it works though. It doesn't, like I say, I tell people to like give it 15 minutes of doing it. You know, I mean, once you've kind of got set up in your mind and stuff like that, you get like like where you visualize. Excuse me, sorry. Where you visualize the train and stuff like. How you like, you know, that first attempt to like visualize something is very light in terms of how your brain has done something. You know what I mean? I can talk about so many different things. I could list like a load of different cars and you kind of visualize them, you know what I mean, as I'm talking and stuff like, and then like but if I spoke about the same car for like 20 minutes, you get to, you know, cement that image better, you know what I mean, and stuff like. So we see the train, we look down at the tracks, we see the tracks, and that part's in motion because we're looking at the peripheral vision. So I'm explaining it anyway now, Anna. So like as the light catches on the tracks, you can imagine how it cascades across and stuff like that kind of thing. It's quite a simple effect, so you can get it to loop in your mind, and then like how the light catches on the tracks, the wooden parts. So then like that's kind of like a strobing effect. So you know what I mean, that's easy to loop in your mind as well, you know what I mean, because you're not going to be looking at that. It's going to be part of your vision, so you have to like kind of create the imagery, you know what I mean, and stuff like. So you look at the wall, you imagine that coming past, it's stones on the floor as well with light catching them and shadows and all that kind of stuff. Like sometimes walls brick, sometimes it's stone and it's got jagged edges and light catches on it or whatever, which again, it's easy to repeat in your mind and stuff like. So you ceiling of a wall, back to ground, and then back to train, you revisualize a train and do it all again because it's only your peripheral vision that you're doing when you're looking on edges and stuff like that kind of thing. So like when you're looking at the train, you want all that peripheral vision to be moving. You know what I mean? So you try and look at the train and imagine like the strobes moving on track. You imagine the walls moving past you, a light coming over the ceiling now and again. You know, I mean, whatever you visualize. Like I say, it's like in a tunnel, so it's dark. There's less light. There's less for you to process in that kind of sense. But you're still sticking with peripheral vision. So you've got that peripheral vision moving, and then you can see where the train is. So then you can hover and fly to edge to see like downside a train. You can see out windows and that lot if it turns and stuff, that kind of thing. You make it turn, but you know. You can fly to the other side, see if it turns the other way, and you keep yourself busy with it. You know what I mean? You kind of roll with it at that point. You just go with it. You could change its speed. You can go past to way stations just to brighten it up or whatever and stuff like, you know, just to keep the mind flowing and focused on it, because that's part of it, is a focus exercise. So you're focusing on keeping all this imagery going and doing what you're doing and stuff like. So once you've got that set up, then it's like 15 minutes from there. From that point on, you're kind of releasing DMT by doing what you're practicing. So what happens naturally with the mind is to lose focus. Like I say, it's a focus exercise. So when you lose focus, like when you're driving car and you're thinking about where you're going, next thing you're thinking about, have you done all your shopping or whatever, you know what I mean, right? You're on autopilot, right? So at that point you realize that you've broke your focus, so you bring yourself back on and you keep going on train. Every time you lose focus, right, that's what you do, right? So eventually, once you've been doing it for so long, you'll have released enough DMT, but so the next time that you lose focus, you won't be thinking about your shopping. You'll be visualizing, you'll be seeing wherever you are on the astral planes. And it's awesome. It's really, 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 really awesome. You know what I mean? Like I said, for the sake of 15 minutes, it's not much. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, if you practice it on a regular basis and stuff like that, there's another thing about astral projection. It's like you could have one astral projection and not meet anything. Another astral projection, you've met a certain race, you know what I mean? Mermaids, say. And so on, you know what I mean, and stuff like. But eventually, you know what I mean, you'll kind of expand, explore, see more of it and stuff like that kind of thing. You get to know more about like what the spiritual war is and all that kind of stuff, like, which is like, you know, like the most important aspect of it and stuff like. Which brings me to, I brought a book. I mentioned it the other week and stuff like that. A fairy book, an introduction. Excuse me. It says, I believe in fairies. These marvelous beings do exist, and I shall continue to remain insistent on that point. It is merely that we have lost our art of seeing and communicating with them. There is at present time, as there has been throughout 2 or more centuries, rationalistic thought, a body of opinion which insists that only the mundane sphere of knowledge relating to the physical world and its laws, and the report of these given by the 5 senses, is acceptable. Everything else is miscreant and to be reviled and shunned. Excuse me. Or poisoned years ago, and it gives me a dry throat and stuff like that.
Sounds like it.
So
let's say how to Mr. Andrew. Hey, Andrew, how's your week going, my friend?
Going excellent. Going through a heat wave still a little bit. I don't have very long. I got to get back to class in just a second, or in a few minutes here. They're still on break at the moment, so I'm just kind of hopping in to say hello. And last night, this morning, kind of situation, I was on the actual Flat Earth Discord stream, where there's all kinds of different people to pop in, flat earthers, globe earthers, whatever else. And I was on there for like 6 hours. I couldn't believe it. And I did give you a shout out, so don't worry about that. And a lot of people in there are not even familiar with a lot of other very popular mainstream flat earth truther channels and stuff like that. So I was definitely, you know, talking about Melodome and, you know, FMX radio and all that kind of stuff. So, and Flattoberfest, obviously.
Hell yeah.
So I was on there, yeah, and we were actually talking about DMT for a little bit because that's a very interesting thing. I've never done it myself.
Ooh.
As far as like ayahuasca, I mean, I've done mushrooms multiple times, but it's interesting how the third eye can open up when you start to do some of that kind of stuff. And if people have never done it before, don't be an idiot like I was and take 7 grams at one time of
Oh my
mushrooms.
goodness.
Oh yeah, you're not going to have a fun time. You're going to
That's a
throw up, and you're going to end up.
heroic dose. Heroic.
Oh yeah, you're gonna think that you're in a different place than you actually are. It's not like a fun place. But yeah, DMT in general, as far as I've heard, our body naturally produces it, apparently. So I don't know how that works exactly.
Yeah, that's like me meditation. Like that's how it produces it that way, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
from pineal gland stuff like.
Maybe if you guys are still on, in maybe another 45 minutes or so, maybe I'll step back in and say hello again. But for now, I got to get back to class. So
No, it's all good. It's all good, my friend. I understand.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me on. I'll be back. And yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, we won't be on too much longer anyway because my AC went out over the weekend. The only hiccup I've had, I guess, is I think my capacity broke my AC unit and the condenser outside. So I have to go to the store and go get one of those and replace it. So I'm not sweating my ass off this week in my own house. But I want to just come on because I've been nailing every Monday like the last 2 months or so now, or 3 months that I've been doing this. I don't know how long I've been doing this, but I've been pretty consistent. Oh, what you got there? What's that? What you got there? Oh, nice. The Earth is flat. I like it. Did you make that?
No, I bought it, man, online.
Okay, yeah. Merch is everywhere. That's what's up. Yeah, flat earthers are everywhere. We're probably the biggest, quietest group around the realm right now. So many other flat earthers still learning that they're flat earthers. So it just probably takes some time, or whatever we'll think Earth is in 10 years. See how fast we came to the realization after a few people pointed out online that this place isn't as spherical as we thought. I'd like to keep that ideology running, thinking that who knows, somebody else, one of us other conscious humans, is going to point out something we've all been taken for granted or simply just consciously missed, something euphoric or some eureka moment that we're all like, oh, how did we all see that? We live in this inside out cube or something. I don't know. It's going to be fantastic, whatever we find out. And I'm excited that it's going to add to our experience here in this infinite realm bestowed upon us by the awesome, gracious creator, whatever it is and whatever you want to call them. That's great. As long as you're talking to that higher up and you're checking in and you're paying your respects. I think that's a good and awesome and favorable thing for all of us to do. So thank you again all for joining me here on this Motivational Moon Day. And I just want to remind you that your thoughts are not yours. So don't get hung up on them. People will inevitably piss you off. They will poke your buttons. They will do anything and everything to get a rise out of you because it's not against you. That's the universe. That's God. You're showing an opportunity to become a better version of yourself than you were just yesterday. So when those opportunities inevitably arise, attack them with all the gracious and patience of that the pure soul that you are. You're a warrior, a spiritual one, and mentally fit. Because if you're here resonating with me, you have all the accolades and traits available at your disposal to conquer every type of situation you come across. So go out there in the world, have the great rest of the day, and I'll probably see y'all again here tomorrow. I got to go do some adult things and get things in order, so I go cook some dinner. So, Mr. Shaolin, what you got going on for the rest of this evening?
Same as usual. Waiting for streams, you know what I mean? Any streams to be on and all that kind of stuff. I'll jump on and stuff like that. I'll develop the videos or whatever and stuff like try and enter my phone.
Sweet. What about you, Miss Anson? Oh, sorry. What about you, Miss Anson? Anything going on?
Yeah, similarly, a few streams that only come on later at night here because it's 5 hours difference to the ones I'm watching. So, stay up. I might go for a little walk later. I prefer it in evenings. It's a bit more, quiet. yeah, that's it really. Just like you say, just keeping positive where possible. And, yeah, keep going.
So let me go ahead and start my shout out real quick. And Bill keeping me on my toes. I love you, Bill. Thanks for keeping me on my toes, brother. Shut up and pay attention to the chat, Chris. You and the super chat for 5 minutes now. Down a shout out. That is shame on me. And I, Mr. Russell, thank you so much. Always hooking your boy up with the good financial support, man. That's I'm telling you, it's all gonna be fed back in here because all this stuff is not as cheap as one might think. But Mellow Manda, Russell, JJ, Jameson. Who else is up? Okay, I know I'm missing more people. Melodome, if you listen, and shout out Austin, brother. Hit me up later after you're off work, son, and we go over our business for the rest of the week. Amanda, again, love you, girl. Y'all are so awesome, for real. And I forgive me if I miss anybody because I get distracted. You know, my mind, if I'm not focused on the conversation and I let my mind go to another conversation, then I lost some important information. So my apologies for anybody I might have missed. Everybody on Rockfin, shout out over there. Love the Rockfin crew. And expect a Rockfin exclusive coming out shortly. I'm going to do some playlist uploads while I'm doing my day gig. I'm thinking maybe I'm going to turn on Rockfin, just run the music that I usually DJ and play on there and kind of let it go. So if people want to hear my playlist or the music I play during the day between shows, probably just going to have it running, see how people like it, if they like it at all. Because I know you can turn it into your own music channels. But hey, if you like my playlist, you like my vibes, and I might introduce you to some tunes you've never heard before. So be on the lookout for that. Well, I won't be on there. I'll be at my day job, but I'm just going to kind of let it just play, do its thing, and see how it goes and whatnot. So thanks again, everybody. It's been a fantastic motivational moon day. I love that. I know so many people, it's popular like Grand Rising nowadays. It vibes well with me. I don't even barely say Monday. Monday just has that. Missing that O, like, just makes it sound all worky and yucky and ugh. Monday, moon day, I don't know. It sounds better. It sounds like the start of something you want to be a part of. I don't know. It's weird, but that's the way it goes. I'm weird. We're all a little bit weird. I guess that's what makes it fun, whatnot. But with that said, namaste, shalom, and peace to you all, good people. You're sexy, you're wonderful, you're strong, you're fit, and you're worthy. Most importantly, you're worthy for all the great things that God has in store for you in life, in this life. And going forward, your best days are still ahead of you. That's right. A reminder. You think you had good days so far? Ha! That's nothing compared to what's coming down the road. It could be later today. It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. It could be next year. Just know it's coming. Stay focused. And you get to decide what thoughts you want to experience every time. It's crazy every time. But we slip up and we think we don't have control of such things. And therefore, that becomes our reality. I am here to remind you that is not the true reality. It can be a true reality, and you can make it your true reality like we have been passively for so long. It's like Mr. Left said, being sheep, stuck in a certain rat race, just trying to get by. But that's, again, it's all choices. It's all choices at the end of the day. What do you want to focus on? What do you want to manifest? What kind of person do you want to be? And what would that person react like to the situation and events that come your way, whether it be spiritual attacks or physical ones? But most of the time, let's admit, they're mental. We are our own worst enemy, and I'm here trying to be your best friend. Let you know, hey, get up your ass. You got this. Don't let that thing stop you. Don't let that person's words distort you or detour you from the greatness and the things you are doing. So keep that chin up, drink some clean water, and get a lot of rest. And be careful what you put in your belly too. Very important what you put in your stomach, man. That gut health, so important. It'll change up your whole vibe if you eat the wrong breakfast during your day. But I'm not a health coach or life coach. Just my little two opinions. So with that said, again, I'm out. I love y'all. I'll see y'all probably tomorrow. So namaste. See you, Mr. Shao. See you, Anson.
Nice one. Catch y'all
Cheers,
later.
man. Thanks.
This is Rose 777, and you're listening to FMX Radio. FMX Radio. FMX Radio.
Yet in holding scientific research and discovery in respect, as we should, we must also be alert to the equal and opposite danger that public policy could itself become the captive of a scientific, technological elite.
We choose to go to the moon. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor and privilege for us to be here.
First question I was wondering, when are we going back to the moon?
It's taken us many years to open this door to useful cooperation in space between our two countries. And may I say, in signing off, here's to a soft landing.
All of them spin-offs of space technology. That's why Jimmy Carter from Georgia
and Gerald Ford from California agree.
Space technology has down-to-earth benefits for everyone.
America is going to space again, and we're going there to stay.
And next, for the new century, back to the moon, back to the future, and this time, back to stay.
That's a great dream. But that and our other dreams are clearly the natural extensions of the space program which began a generation ago.
Is to return to the moon by 2020 as the launching point for missions beyond. Beginning no later than 2008, using the Crew Exploration Vehicle, we will undertake extended human missions to the moon as early as 2015.
By the mid-2030s, I believe we can send humans to orbit Mars and return them safely to Earth. And a landing on Mars will follow. And I expect to be around to see it.